Hello Saviors! This is another video tutorial about endgame gear crafting. In this video, I will discuss the various endgame item mechanics involved with crafting. The links will be provided for each of these chapters, so please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Within each of these chapters, I will discuss gemming, enhancements, transcendence, rerolling for Ichor extraction, awakening, and enchantment. So gemming is pretty simple. You basically sit down and then you can select the gem enhancement option. Within this tab, you can upgrade the gem as high as level 10. For newbies, I suggest getting it to at least level 7. Remember to roast the gems at the Alchemist Play Store. This removes the negative side effects. Enhancements. This is how we get our item to as high as plus 21, plus 11. So enhancements is also pretty straightforward. It's a 50-50 chance after plus 5. You would like to activate the anvil by right-clicking it, and then selecting the item of your choice. And then you begin by melee attacking it 3 times. There are 3 types of anvils. There's a regular anvil, there's a silver anvil which does not cost silver when you're enhancing, and then a golden anvil used when your potential of the item reaches 0. A ruby anvil is also available, but that's usually reserved for items that are beyond plus 15, plus 16. Transcendence. Transcendence is also straightforward. However, it requires Goddess Blessing gems. Each Transcendence gives about 10% more physical and magic defense. These are actually created from crafting 10 Blessed Shards, with the recipe which you can get from the item merchant in any town. Once you obtain this, you want to speak to the blacksmith and select Transcend. Now, you would always need to use maximum Goddess Blessed gems for 100% success rate. This will prevent any forms of failure. Failure when transcending will decrease your item's potential. Rerolling for Ichor extraction. This is actually one of the most convoluted and most complicated endgame mechanic I've ever seen in any game. A lot of it has to do with RNG, and you would probably spend a lot of money trying to do this. First, you would need to obtain an equipment of your choice. This is either a Berthus Dasani or a Primus Dasani. This is item level around 430. This is actually obtained from episode 12 maps, after which you would use a mysterious or artisan magnifier to obtain the maximum lines that we want, after which we use a blue Sandra magnifier which changes the stat groups to our desired state, followed by going to the blacksmith and using our Sierra and nuclear powders to change our stats. If we're close but not perfect, we can always go back and use a blue Sandra. Now, have we gotten our item of choice? If we did, then we start by using the Red Detailed Magnifier. This will allow us to min-max our stats to our desired value, after which we go to Fedimian and perform an Ichor extraction. To really understand our stats, we first take a look at this Primus Dasani 2-handed sword. Notice that the stat groups can be either green, purple, blue, or red. I apologize, I don't have a blue one here. Now, the stat values are dependent upon the item type, whereas it's an armor, main weapon, offhand. These will all have various values from a minimum to a maximum value. Ideally, if you use a Primus Dasani weapon and you reroll the stat value, there's a better chance at getting a higher value. If you use a purple Berthus Dasani, it will probably be a bit more difficult to obtain. So when we re-roll for Ichor, we want to first obtain the following pieces of equipment. This is the Berthus Dasani pants and the Primus Dasani pants. Both of these items are item level 430 obtained from episode 12. Our next step is using the following magnifiers. We have a mysterious magnifier and an artisan magnifier. We use these to obtain the maximum lines. As you see here in the 2-handed sword, the maximum number of lines we can obtain is 6. The next step is when we use our blue Sandra magnifier. This will change the stat group and the value. The green can become anything. It can actually become a blue, a red, or a purple. The value can also become anything. So why do we do this? We want to obtain more green groups or maybe a purple group. Ideally, in this case, as a swordsman, I went for 3 green groups. Once we obtain our desired state, we go to the blacksmith and select Re-Identification. Remember, this consumes nuclear powder and Sierra powder. We do this, it is completely RNG, it's completely random in other words, but the stat groups remain the same. A green stays green. However, when you re-identify, a Dex, Strength, Con, Spirit, Intelligence can reroll to either of them. At this point, we want to use the Red Detailed Magnifier. Basically, once we obtain the stats we want to get to as perfect as possible. By using this magnifier, we can reroll the value of the stat. For a green group stat for an offhand trinket, the maximum stat value of a strength is 75. For a purple critical rate, it is 249. Now that we got the item that we need, we go to Fedimian and speak to the blacksmith to level us. Extraction will consume potential points, but don't fret, this is okay. Potential points are basically items chances before until destruction. You need to purchase an extraction kit from the blacksmith, consume Sierra powder for the Ichor extraction. If the extraction goes sideways and your potential goes 0, pray to God that you have a golden extraction kit. This prevents destruction of your equipment. Last but not least, we have Awakening and Enchantments. Both of these are relatively simple. For awakening our items, this requires Awakening Stones, Awakening Abrasives, and a Player Alchemist store. It is all RNG. Awakening gives additional stat modifiers to your equipment. It consumes potential, so avoid this by using premium Awakening Stones. Finally, we have Enchantments. Enchantment jewels are actually obtained from dismantling equipment. You right-click them and apply to your item. Remember, only the highest value of a similar stat is utilized. If a main weapon damage is 6.6% and another equipment has a 5.5%, it does not stack. Only the highest value is counted, so keep enchanting. If you use unique jewels, you have a higher chance of obtaining maximum stats. Another area that you want to perform legend set enchantments is the use of Pomoka solutions. These gives you another set bonus such as Attacka, Smugus, Healers, and a bunch of others. To do this, we need to obtain Pomoka solutions. These are obtained by purchase from the completion of the quest saving Valdadas from the miner's village. Upon purchase, you want to right-click the item to activate it. This allows you to fill the solution when you're killing mobs. After filling the solution with the X amount and the required crafted items, you can speak to Valdadas again to apply the legend set enchantment. Remember, these only work on legend set items such as Elcoffer, Sevenos, and Varna. So in the following video, I actually performed some Ichor extraction and rerolling. The first thing I did was I took a piece of equipment and I followed through the steps that I mentioned earlier. I was utilizing the Artisan and regular magnifiers for the item, mysterious ones. At this point for the armor, I am actually trying to obtain 4 lines. So as you saw, this took a lot of mysterious and artisan magnifiers to get 4 lines, which is the maximum amount of lines we can obtain from an armor piece. At this point, the next step is to use a blue Sandra to obtain our specific desired stat group. When utilizing our blue Sandra, we can actually decide which area to reroll our stat group. In my case, I went for all of them except the purple. Now my goal here was to get 3 greens and 1 purple. So now we have 2 greens, and I'm re-rolling the red one. And now we have 3. At this point, we need to go to the blacksmith and perform re-identification. At this point with the re-identification process, we consumed a lot of nuclear powder and Sierra powder. Now, as a swordsman, or rather a melee user, the goal is to obtain strength, con, dex, and crit rate. Now I got lucky here and I decided to go back and use a blue Sandra because I actually obtained dex, con, and crit rate. So I went back and I used the blue Sandra. And the goal here was to keep our dex, con, and crit rate and reroll the intelligence to strength. So we're back, and after multiple attempts and multiple tries and a lot of money, I obtained some blue Sandras. And at this point, I'm utilizing the blue Sandras to reroll the following blue to hopefully a green, and I keep going. And here we have it, strength, dex, con, and crit. The next step is to actually go towards Fedimian for our Ichor extraction. At this point, the Ichor extraction requires an extraction kit, which costs about 100,000 silver unless you have a silver Ichor extraction kit. Notice in this item I have 8 potentials, and I was very lucky to go through it on first try. The item is destroyed when you perform an Ichor extraction. The next step is to apply the Ichor on our piece of equipment. As I head back, I looked at my equipment and I noticed that I need to remove a random Ichor that's already fixed on it, which is a temporary solution. Removing an Ichor costs 38,000 silver. So now equipping the Ichor that we first extracted, we now have our desired item of choice. So there you have it, folks. This is the whole Ichor extraction and re-rolling process. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, so please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions and concerns about this process, feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to respond as soon as possible. So thank you all for watching.